Okay. Earlier we talked about this Vice article about how video games make people more likely to be deviants and violent and satanic and a number of other things. I don't know if it was all in that article, but anyways, it was part of a long and noble tradition of blaming things like games and pen and paper games like D&D and movies and rock and roll bands and Marilyn Manson for all the world's problems. So, in that video, I mentioned an article in the Huffington Post. I didn't mention it was the Huffington Post, but anyways, it's by Moby. I didn't know. Is it? It's by fucking Moby. I just noticed that this is by Moby, the musician Moby, writing about video games. Moby the Scold. Holy shit. Anyways, it's all about misogyny and just the terrible. It's called When Media Accept Misogyny, We All Lose. And it's about Donald Trump, who, I will just point out, I fucking hate Donald Trump. I think he's terrible and I hope he loses. But let's talk about, okay, Moby writes, a few years ago I was at a friend's house and his kids were playing video games. I learned from his 10-year-old son how profitable it was in the video game to have sex with a prostitute and then kill her and take back the money that you just paid her for sex. When you have kids in middle America growing up listening to misogynistic music and playing misogynist video games and watching misogynistic TV and movies, sometimes it's misogynistic, sometimes it's just misogynist, is it in any way surprising that they grow up and respond warmly to Trump and his misogyny? I mean, oh yeah, let me let me tell you. I have killed so many prostitutes in Grand Theft Auto. First of all, it's not profitable. If you want profit in GTA 5, for instance, you're going to do a whole lot of different things that can make you money. You're going to play the missions, you're going to do the heists, you're going to probably just play GTA online, honestly. Killing a prostitute only nets you back the money you paid her already. It isn't profitable. So that 10-year-old was terrible at math. He should spend more time on math and less time on Grand Theft Auto. And also that 10-year-old's parents should not, first of all, should not be letting their 10-year-old son play Grand Theft Auto. Second of all, why are you talking to a kid at your friend's house about killing hookers in Grand Theft Auto? Like, how does that happen? I'm imagining going to a friend's house and like sitting down with their 10-year-old and having them tell me that it's profitable to kill hookers in Grand Theft Auto. I think that'd be really an awkward conversation. But it also assumes a lot. It assumes that every kid who played Grand Theft Auto then grew up to love Donald Trump. I mean, I know so many people who played Grand Theft Auto when we were younger, and I'm talking maybe like teenage years or young early 20s probably. None of these people I know, none of my friends who played Grand Theft Auto and killed hookers in Grand Theft Auto, they didn't really kill hookers. None of them like Donald Trump. It's such a stupid argument. Shame on you, Moby. What a stupid thing to say. What else does he say? He says, I'm not laying the blame for Trump on Eminem and the Prodigy, but I'm saying there's a direct line of causality between the lax attitude the media has towards either entertaining or profitable misogyny and the horrifying misogyny of Trump and his supporters. There's a direct line because so many Trump supporters are Eminem fans. So many. And also the media has always been so cool to Eminem. He never writes songs about the media and criticize. Never mind. This is a stupid article, and there is legit misogyny out there, and it's just drives me crazy when so much of the focus is on stupid bullshit like Grand Theft Auto or Eminem. Like, okay, Eminem is a provocateur, and he does say some pretty shitty things, but he's doing it, I think, satirically. And Grand Theft Auto is also satire, and these are not the problems with sexism or misogyny in America. You want to talk about those problems? They're much deeper. They're much more inscrutable. They're much harder to root out. They're not the 15-year-old gamers playing Grand Theft Auto. They're deeply ingrained issues in structural issues, in corporate culture and politics and just the deeper, broader culture. And it's so much easier just to pick on the gamers and the games and the Eminems and the rap music and the D&D and all that bullshit. So much easier to do that than to just than actually take the time to look at what is actually wrong. And if you go to any workplace in America, I think you will see examples of sexism. You'll see it in hospitals, and you'll see it in law firms. But you don't see, editorials about the evils of sexist lawyers and doctors. It's not easy. It's not easy to tackle that. Everything has to be, how these cultural products we have are causing these things, as opposed to how they're reflecting them. How sexism that you see in a game may be a reflection of the world. Just like when we read a book, we're often reading about the world as it is. And these things like the rap songs or the rock and roll songs or whatever you're listening to often are just reflecting the way it is on the ground in people's lives. It's not necessarily making people sexist. It may be revealing the world. That's what art does, is it reveals the world as the artist experiences it, or the writer, or the game developer. And in the game, we get to experience it ourselves to some degree. We get to participate in it. God damn it. Damn it, Moby. I never liked your music, but you should stick to your fucking music.